Welcome back. It was just 2 weeks ago when northern New South Wales was inundated with floodwater, causing many to take refuge on their roofs, in their ceilings for hours waiting to be rescued. Now we're finding out that those long wait times could have been avoided with the SES turning down help from the ADF twice in the days and the hours leading up to the floods.
Yep, let's get today's take on this with Nine Honey's Shelley Horton and comedian all-round man about town, Lawrence Mooney. Great to see you both. Shelley, it seems there are two different narratives going on here concerning the ADF deployment. New South Wales Premier Dominic Perrottet saying he did request help from the ADF. It's hard to find the truth in the middle of all of this. Knowing what we do know, should they have been deployed earlier?
Absolutely. I think the thing that we have learnt living in Australia is when we have natural disasters, they are major natural disasters.
Yeah.
So what is the harm in overreacting? The absolute worst case scenario is you send the army in and then they're not needed and they get to go back. I mean, we had people terrified, thinking they were going to die, and I don't think we need any political back and forward as to whether it should be SES or the Army. Let's just get them in quickly. And of course they're going to do another inquiry into this, and they do need to learn from it, but really it comes down to common sense. We are Australians, we need help, let's make it happen.
Well, Lawrence, the state government is committed to a review, but there have been reviews and inquiries in the past.
Sylvia, I thought it would have been obvious when that once-in-a-lifetime rain event starts happening. Why doesn't the Prime Minister pick up the phone and call Dominic Perrottet and they have a meeting straight away? And like Shelley said, action more quickly. Peter Dutton has said he won't take any criticism of the ADF. No one's criticising the ADF. They're criticising the government for not moving faster. I think when there's tinnies on the main street of Lismore, it's time to mobilise. And it took 10 days. It's an absolute disgrace. And I feel so sorry for the people of Lismore.
Yeah, those pictures tell the story, don't they? You do anything to help them, and anything and everything should have been done immediately. Hey, I'm sure we'll hear plenty more about all of that, but also making news this morning, Prime Minister Scott Morrison continues to kind of drop in the polls. This comes as Aussies call on the PM to act on the record high petrol prices. Lawrence, the price of fuel is soaring to an average $2.20 a litre, some saying it could go to $2.50. One solution being floated is, of course, to cut the petrol excise, but I guess the government's got to get money from somewhere. What do you think? Do you support this plan?
Well, you know, whinging about petrol prices, Dickie, is like whinging about the weather or the media. It's never going to change a thing, is it? So you've got to decide when to fill up. You've got to get the app that tells you where the cheapest petrol is. It feels like it's Easter every weekend now. You just see the prices go right through the roof. And I guess the alternative is get the bike out or get on public transport, because, you know, it's just unbelievable that it's punching through $2 and keeping on going north. I suppose the situation in Europe isn't helping things, and the fact that we've been through floods and there's a whole lot of instability. But, you know, what we just, as Australians, we just feel like there's so many ducks around at the moment. You just feel hopeless. So,
Shelley, it's an interesting poll out this morning showing that Anthony Albanese is rising in the polls with his approval rating, drawing level with Scott Morrison as preferred PM for the first time in 2 years. But would you be willing to put a bet on the result of this election yet?
Absolutely not. I was betting that one of those ducks was going to hit Lawrence in the back of the head. So, look, it's 2 months out from the election. We are going to see nothing but polls. And remember, just before the election, when ScoMo won, he was down in the polls. I just don't even know if polls are even worth doing.
Yeah, as long as we don't see any more ukulele playing up.
That's right. I think that one's been put away for a while. Guys, stay with us when we come back. The surprising reason almost half of all Australians are spending more money than they can afford. This is Today Extra. We're back in a sec. Welcome back. Well, millions of Australians have gone into debt in order to keep up with the Joneses. New research by Finder has found almost 50% of people feel pressured into spending money by their family and friends.
Joneses, yeah. Lawrence and Shelley are back with us to discuss. Shelley, a lot of Aussies succumbing to kind of peer pressure. Do you find yourself a little guilty of this sometimes?
No, I'm always sort of, you've got to be
You're
generous.
the Joneses.
Particularly when it's like splitting restaurant bills. But I spoke to my husband about this morning, and he's dead against splitting bills evenly, not because he's a tight ass, but because he's a lard ass, and he eats more and drinks more than anyone else. And he said he feels guilty, so he wishes that we could do individual bills.
Wow.
That's one of the big ones. Lawrence, are you guilty of this? Are you guilty of overspending to keep up with the Joneses?
I spend to keep up with the Joneses, but also I do retail therapy to make myself feel good in some grim times. You sit down in front of the news and it's all kicking off everywhere. We've had years of COVID and are finally starting to free up. So, yeah, I'm starting to max out the credit card and I'm having a great time doing it, Sil.
Well, it's great when those little parcels arrive on the front door and it feels like a present to yourself.
Oh!
The satisfaction.
Yes,
it's enormous.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you both. Good to see you, Shelley. Beautiful day on the coast. And Lawrence, we'll let you get back to all those friends of yours behind you there, mate.
Thank you very much.
You've got friends here, Moon Man. See you soon. Have a great day. Coming up on Today Extra.